The zero waste and low impact movement are closely related, but the zero waste movement are focused more on reducing consumption and waste. The hope is to reduce the amount of resources that are extracted from the earth, prevent pollution from mass production and transportation, and eliminate the amount of waste that goes into landfills from packaging. Because some consumption is inevitable, the zero waste tries not to send things to a landfill. Within our current system, that means recycling, donating, repairing other stuff, but however, recycling is incredibly ineffective, with a rate of only about 9%. In a utopic zero waste system, we would be at 100% living in perfect harmony of production and consumption. However, one of the biggest problems in zero waste living is that we do not live in a utopia. We don't have recycling plants that can recycle 100% of our waste. We live in a culture of capitalism and consumerism. Food and clothes and electronics and almost everything else are mass-produced unsustainably. The idea that individuals could radically alter their consumption habits to go zero waste and revolutionize capitalism if only they were dedicated enough or had enough discipline is racist, ableist, and classist. Low-impact living is quite similar to zero waste, but it has a few key differences. There is still a focus on reducing your overall consumption and avoiding sending items to landfills, of course, but low-impact living is primarily a lens through which to view your daily habits and the impact they have on the environment. It is also, in my personal opinion, significantly more achievable than zero-waste living, especially in our current capitalist culture. Living in a low-impact way means assessing all of your action on spectrum of positive to negative effect for the environment. If I drive my car to the grocery store, buy vegetables grown in Florida and shipped to Vancouver, beef from the butcher with no plastic packaging, put everything in my homemade reusable shopping bags, and then drive home and make myself a steak dinner. Was I really environmentally friendly? The gas I use for my car, the fuel they use to transport the veggies all the way to Vancouver, and the huge amount of water they use to get one nice cut of beef. Everything adds up to being absolutely not environmentally friendly. However, you might have noticed that my steak dinner technically lives up to the standard set of zero waste living, which is another problem with the black and white sustainability practices. Every action isn't 100% environmentally friendly or 100% not. Maybe some are, but most of our daily habits, they fall in between those two extremes. And the best you can do is try to fall closer to environmentally friendly with most of your habits. The number one tip I see for starting your low impact and zero waste lifestyle is swapping plastic food storage bags and containers into a reusable silicone and glass ones. While it does seem like a good theory, but it does seem to advocate for throwing out your perfectly usable plastic containers and buy a more expensive glass and silicone ones. The number one rule of sustainability is that do what you can. If you do not have an extra income for glass containers, then don't worry about it. But if you do have an extra income for that and you still choose to buy single-use plastics, then you need to reevaluate your consumption habit. And another guiding tip is that what you already have is better than what you need to buy. Use those plastic containers and bags. Hand wash them with gentle soap and use them again. Reusable food storage bags are a great goal eventually, after you have already used your current food storage bags as much as they could possibly be used. Another tip that I see frequently, instead of buying items that comes in plastic containers, try to buy items that comes in a biodegradable materials. Like if you consider all of the items that comes in glass, we have maple syrup, jam, a pasta sauce, and everything, and this tip is definitely accessible. And as a bonus, you can reuse the containers again once you finish with it. And also, if you're financially privileged, then you can extend this tip for makeup and oral hygiene product that come with a biodegradable bamboo containers. The last tip is one that is pretty polarizing for some reason. Going vegan. There's a lot of evidence that suggests if you're going vegan, you can reduce your carbon footprints. The researchers at Oxford says by up to 73%. But let's break this tip down in terms of accessibility. Right now, being vegan is trendy in some parts of North America, and that means that vegan products are more expensive. And when I say vegan products, I don't mean beans and rice. I mean vegan foods that don't taste vegan. Chocolate donuts, cookies, candy bars, some kinds of breads, and all things which are delicious and also contain no animal products. Those things which might make being vegan bearable if you're coming from a carnivorous place. Being 100% vegan means that you need to be cognizant of things like vitamins and protein that you might have been relying on dairy and milk for. An affordable and achievable alternative to going vegan is going vegetarian for 3 times a week. Meat is everywhere, and it's so environmentally expensive to produce. So by lowering your meat intake by just a little bit, it actually makes a really huge difference. Try to focus on delicious recipes that are already vegan instead of trying on food that you usually cook with a meat and you make it vegan. You might not like it. With all of these strategies, continuing to reuse your plastic bag containers, buying things that comes in a biodegradable and reusable containers, and going vegan part-time. The goal is not to be 100% perfect of all of these things. That is just an impossible expectation to set for yourself. Sustainable and continued change should be flexible and forgiving. And the goal is to evaluate the action you have and shift them a little closer to sustainability. If you're not financially privileged, some of this advice goes out of the window in favor of what you're able to. And if you are financially privileged, then use the privilege to vote with your wallet and encourage other financially privileged people to do the same. If every individual and company that is able to buy from ethical producers, then the cultural shift towards sustainable practices would be a lot quicker. Here are a few people that you can follow and find out more about sustainable living from. These people also focus on many more topics and in general, just a good folks to follow anyway. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe to Low Entropy Connect.